the world. You are very well traveled. And growing up, we knew third world countries had cops that acted thuggish and guys with machine guns on corners. And now that's coming to America, but with high-tech telescreens saying, watch your neighbor. And now they're on the news saying, we want to pass laws that if anything you say might upset other people, you're going to be arrested. And by the way, we want your guns. And by the way, we're going to blame this on anybody that's criticizing the Federal Reserve. I mean, they've named Ron Paul and myself on multiple programs all over print media, TV. I mean, this is blood libel. I mean, Sarah Palin, you know, she's no, angel. She doesn't, know that North Korea is the enemy and South Korea is the ally. But still, she got this right. So a blind hog is, able to find acorns. I mean, I'll sure take her over a Barack Obama, but here it is. She said, when was it less heated? Back in those calm days when political figures literally settled their differences with dueling pistols? Since when are we collectively guilty and have to give up our rights and not criticize government when some guy who had literally took a hallucinogen, quote, almost every day and was, quote, a liberal and, quote, obsessed with her and put letters from her to him in his safe? I mean, this guy was, missing every knife in the drawer. His elevator didn't even go up one floor. And then I get to take the blame for this? And look at Illinois. A 66% income tax increase. They just passed it last night. Everybody's fleeing that place. It's going to look like Detroit if they keep it up. I mean, where is this going? It's insanity, Gerald.
As I said, we're moving into third world status. There are a lot of indicators. This isn't rhetoric. When I say this, you have it. For example, the gap between the rich and the poor is the widest in the United States of any of the industrialized nations. You just mentioned Chicago, Illinois. That's the highest corporate tax rate, by the way, when you put state and federal on it, probably in the world. So this is what they're doing, and we're seeing the results of it. You're going to start seeing more and more outbreaks of violence, whether it's somebody out of their mind like this guy or people just fed up. By the way, right up here in good old Kingston, New York, I used to talk about that bank, the key bank I had trouble getting my money out of when they wouldn't give it to me because I wanted to keep it but for myself and didn't want them to hold it. And I mentioned that they got robbed twice. Bingo! 3 times in 2 years. They had another one this week. I could literally throw a stone and hit this bank. That's how close it is. You're going to see more and more of a breakdown. And as the breakdown gets worse, they're going to clamp down harder because they're going to say we have to stop. It's going to be the campaign slogan, mark my words, of 2012. We got to get tough on crime. So as the system breaks down more, they're going to bring in more of the goon squads to keep us in check.
Well, you notice what they've been politically building is it's a paramilitary army designed for the milk cows, those of us that are law-abiding, pay the taxes. They're actually hiring a lot of the criminals now, just like the Nazis and the Soviets did. That's coming out to fill their ranks. And I've seen all over the country where they'll lay off 20%, 40, over 60 in some counties of the sheriff's deputies and then announce, but the sheriff's deputies we're keeping, they're going to be revenue generation. They're not going to come respond to serious crimes like armed robbery. Even the Oakland police chief last year was talking about that. So they're telling you the cops are there to get your money, not to help you.
Well, of course, as I've said, and we'll be writing about it more in the Trends Journal, the police have become the enforcers for the crime bosses. The big guys are off limits. Have you seen any heads roll from Wall Street and all these criminal bank scams? And I love the white shoe boy language they use. Robo-signers.
Stay there, Gerald. Hate to interrupt. Got a break. We're going to come back. Let's start off there with the economy, with the fraud. I've got CNBC right here calling in your prediction. It's true. Housing market slips into depression territory. We've been there for a long time.
Is it really possible to get out of debt without payment plans or attorneys? 18 years ago, we developed a program that has made thousands debt-free in just 90 days. It's called Zero Debt in 90 Days, and it works for all credit card debt, medical bills, even collection lawsuits.
When I first joined, I was being sued. So I used the program methods, and after filing one piece of paper, the collection lawsuit was dismissed.
With Zero Debt in 90 days, your success is guaranteed in writing. There is no other program of its kind. Don't be alone when creditors gang up on you. Let our team of experts provide the resources to fight back and stop creditors in only 90 days, guaranteed. Prevent wage garnishments, bank levies, and stop collection calls with our proven program. Call Zero Debt in 90 days now, 800-477-9256, and ask for free information from an expert who also completed our program. 800-477-9256 or ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. 800-477-9256 or ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today, it seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv.
Have you ever felt like the United States government knows way too much about your financial affairs? I continue to hear stories about property seizures, frozen bank accounts, confiscation of stocks and bonds. It makes me wonder if the U.S. citizen will ever again have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Unfortunately, with the Drug and Money Laundering Act, the IRS Revenue Ruling 6045 of 1984, and the Trading with the Enemy Act and Franklin D. Roosevelt's Executive Order of 1933, some precious metal holdings are subject to government intervention. For this reason, Midas Resources has prepared a report explaining the boundaries of trading precious metals privately. Whether if you have any intention of trading with Midas Resources or not, I have instructed my representatives to give this report out free. Call for your free copy at 1-800-686-2237. When investing, always proceed with caution. Again, call 1-800-686-2237. Exercise your legal right to trade metals privately. 1-800-686-2237.
One of the most potent ways to lower blood pressure is to inhibit the angiotensin-converting enzyme in the body, also called ACE. In nature, there are a group of proteins found in unheated whey that inhibit the ACE enzyme. The most potent ACE inhibitor to date is lactokinin. While lactokinin does not have the inhibitory potency of synthetic drugs commonly used in the treatment of hypertension, this naturally occurring whey peptide may be able to help keep blood pressure normal. The most powerful whey protein supplement on the market is One World Whey. One World Whey is the first ever unheated whey protein powder from grass-fed cows. One World Whey is easily digested and tastes delicious. Use One World Whey to support your exercise or weight loss goals, your optimal blood pressure, energy, endurance, and mood. To order, call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworldwhey.com.
Way up north, to Alaska, way up north.
Bill Clinton has come out with another statement saying politics must change after the shooting. But now CNN, MSNBC, and others are reporting, talking to friends and family. He hated politics, saw himself as apolitical, and was basically obsessed with her. And that's what our article up on prisonplanet.com says. On Sunday, I called him as a nihilistic guy, rejected by women, into the occult to shock people. Just like Eric Muller said earlier. It's a game called Topper. They're trying to top each other and how radical they are. And he started taking a high-powered hallucinogen, quote, almost every day. That's his neighbors, his friends, his family, the Associated Press reporting. And it goes on to report, was the shooter in love with Congresswoman Giffords? Now the new headline up at Drudge. He did not watch TV. He disliked the news. He didn't listen to political radio. That is being reported here. And I want to get back into the economy. This is a short segment, but you got cut off by the break, Gerald Celente. You were starting to get into the things that are happening. But it's so incredible to actually see them from within hours of this happening trying to blame anybody who is seen as promoting lower taxes, smaller government, and the Tea Party movement, which the Republicans have tried to take over, but unsuccessfully. I mean, these really are authoritarians. They really are trying to end free speech. Do you think they're going to be successful?
Well, they are successful. Look at the mainstream media. They're nothing more than shills for Washington. But they're not going to be successful in the long term. Again, it's a give and take. As you know, one of the top trends for 2011 is Journalism 2.0, and you're it, and I'm it. And it's all of these other it's out there that are putting out a different message. So as the message gets out there more and more, they clamp down on it more and more. So it's going to be a fight. In the end, we believe, however, that the voices such as yours and mine and many others is going to ring much louder than theirs, because when you look at all of the polls coming in, people are losing their faith in the mainstream media. And again, they're going to use any excuse they can to clamp down on any message that they don't want to hear.
And here's the deal. With True TV, Time Warner, we've now confirmed they did kill that episode on Police State under Homeland Security threats behind the scenes. The government didn't want this out in the open. They're threatening people to keep it secret. Now they've ordered all the DVR distributors to erase all the seasons, last year and this year, and they're starting to not air the old episodes as much. I mean, if they can get away with killing Ventura's TV show, and there's not any mainstream media coverage on it, why not kill all of the alternative media or alternative information that gets on mainstream media? I mean, this is really happening.
It is happening, and it's going to continue. As I said, the more the economy declines, you were just, at the break, you mentioned a piece that just came out on CNBC.
Yes.
What was it?
Oh, well,
about housing?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, that's what we were going to get to next, and then I digressed. Its housing market slips into depression territory, and it says, as the economy revs back to life, I thought the recession ended a year and a half ago, with signs of hiring on the horizon, the housing market is being left behind. And it goes on to say, in the past few years, we've been careful to choose the words carefully, not calling it a recession until it fit the technical definition and avoiding any inappropriate use of the D word, depression. And then they go on to say, but now, looking at the numbers, we have to report that this is a depressionary situation. And that's them saying that's them saying depression with cooked numbers, Gerald.
I know. And let's get a couple of things straight here. Number one, all the money the federal government has put on our shoulders to boost up this phony housing market to begin with. Number two, remember all the tax breaks they gave the people to buy those homes to sucker them into the market, a Ponzi scheme that we paid for. Number three, as you read that propaganda that you just read, as employment numbers rev up, let's get this straight. When they began this stimulus package under Obama, they said they were going to create 4 million jobs. Last year, 1.1 million jobs were created. At that rate, accounting for the new people moving into the system, it would take until 2030 just to get back to levels before the recession began. Number four, Obama said, and his brilliant Larry Summers and others, that with the stimulus program, that in 2010, we'd be looking at an unemployment rate of 7.5%.
Another lie. Stay there.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.